All right, here we go. Come on over here. Here, you can. You want to sit up? You want to make this easier? You can sit on my lap. Michael. Michael. Hi. Okay, we're in. Okay.
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in.
Right.
Beyonce for sure. I love her. Like, I love Beyonce. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
Rihanna just put Beyonce in full-on panic mode after she put out disturbing details linking Beyonce to a bunch of young rappers who ended up disappearing or dying tragically right after they got tied to her. Word on the street is she was allegedly getting nasty with Diddy, and he might have helped her silence a few folks she didn't want out here telling her business. Apparently, this is what Jaguar Wright was trying to tell us a while back when she went on Piers Morgan and accused Beyonce of having skeletons in her closet, but she couldn't go into all the details because she didn't have solid proof. But now, Rihanna is really out here doing it. And if you're wondering why, they're saying she's doing this as payback for Beyonce supposedly sitting back and letting Jay-Z use her and toss her around the industry. Now, when all this came out, the first person everybody brought up was DaBaby, because he's actually one of the few young rappers who publicly called Beyonce out. But even with that, his career didn't last long after because he ended up getting canceled. So if y'all remember, a clip went viral a while back of DaBaby telling this story about being in a private meeting with Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Diddy at Diddy's crib. He said he went there thinking it was just going to be a regular business meeting. This was right around the time his career was taking off. But when he got there, Diddy kicked everybody else out, leaving just him, Beyonce, and Jay-Z in the room. Once it was just the four of them, Beyonce came up to him and started making small talk to ease him up for what allegedly happened next.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. But he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Mm-hmm. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know,
right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Didn't be Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was dope.
Now, the thing with that interview is DaBaby was trying to spill the details on what went down once Beyonce started coming at him. But Shannon Sharpe, who everybody knows is real close with Beyonce and Jay-Z's people, cut him off before he could even get it all out. Jaguar Wright said DaBaby didn't go all the way into it during that sit-down because Shannon Sharpe supposedly had his own business ties with Jay and Bey. She claims Shannon was out here trying to lock in some NFL deals and wasn't about to let DaBaby sit there and mess all that up by going in on Jay and Beyonce right on camera.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge. Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video was pornographic. pornographic in nature.
Oh my.
But see, DaBaby is actually one of the lucky ones, because the other rappers she was allegedly entangled with didn't make it out alive. And by this, I'm talking about those rumors surrounding her and Pimp C. Word on the street is that she and Pimp C allegedly had some kind of relationship going on back when he was alive, and even made an explicit tape together. Now, it's unclear if she knew she was being recorded, or if Pimp recorded them without her knowing about it, but he was reportedly planning to put it out for some reason. And somehow, word got back to Beyoncé about what he was about to do. Next thing you know, he is found dead. I'm not saying she had a hand in it, but it's been speculated that she may have gotten Jay-Z to do her dirty work for her.
What's in this Pimp C tape?
All I can tell you, there was a famous R&B chick, and it was a guy that was getting money at the time. And, you know, Pimp, he used to be in the studio. And every now and then he'd have a camcorder, so he was able to get some footage. And he wanted to do something with the footage, but I don't know why he didn't do nothing with it, but if I could have got a hold of that tape, I'd be a billionaire, man. Hey, whoever it was, they went to kill me, man. I know TMZ would have paid a bank for that one, man. But yeah, it is a tape, and if you read the comments, a lot of people figured out. Okay. A lot of people figured out because, you know, people that was in Houston at the time, they know who was a little loose.
Anyway, the rumors about Beyoncé and Jay-Z being involved got even worse when DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia, Pimp's manager, revealed disturbing details about how Pimp was found. He said Pimp's body was positioned in a praying position, with his bodily fluids all over the floor. Another thing that really had people looking at Beyoncé and Jay-Z sideways is that at the time of Pimp C's death, he had an ongoing beef with Jay-Z.
He set it up a meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go after I leave Java, go to Rock to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. I was like, is this for sure? He was like, no. He said, we want to with UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys.
That's right.
So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C. Because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house. And I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro. Y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. They was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what was going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. All we wanted was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, and I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing it out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man.
But that's not all. There were also rumors floating around that Beyoncé and Mos Def had a little fling going on back in the day. Cypher Sounds even spilled the tea about this weekend he spent with Destiny's Child. He said that while he was hanging around them, he noticed Beyoncé and Mos looking unusually close. Mos didn't lose his life like Pimp, but his career was never the same after those rumors came out. Oh, but it gets crazier. People did a lot of digging and found out that Beyoncé was actually not working alone. I mean, yes, she has Jay-Z, but she also has Diddy to do her dirty work. And she has had him doing her dirty work for a lot longer than most people think. In fact, at some point, Diddy almost signed Beyoncé. See, back when Destiny's Child was still looking for a label, Diddy and Clive Davis both had a chance to sign them, but they passed. And the reason is wild. Turns out they didn't think the group was sexy enough to grab folks' attention and actually sell records. Now, when Destiny's Child first got put in front of Diddy, he wasn't really checking for the whole group like that. According to the story, his eyes were on Beyoncé and Beyoncé only. He was praising her voice, talking about how unique her name was, acting like she was the clear standout. But even with all that, he still didn't sign them because he felt the group wasn't giving enough appeal. Yup, that's what they said. And remember what I said about Diddy doing Beyoncé's dirty work? Allegedly, of course. Well, if you remember, there was that situation back in the day when Diddy made the members of Da Band walk all the way downtown just to get him cheesecake. For years, everybody thought he was just humiliating them for fun, making them suffer because he could. But Freddie P recently revealed that the cheesecake wasn't even really for Diddy. It turns out it was for Beyoncé the entire time. So basically, this whole time people thought Diddy was just making those boys walk miles for his own ego. But according to Freddie, that whole embarrassing cheesecake run may have been connected to Beyoncé.
Okay, fun fact a lot of people don't know. That cheesecake we went and got was for Beyoncé. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact people don't know. People like, y'all walked together cheesecake. It was for Beyoncé. I'll do it again. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Darlon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He didn't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? He said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I don't want that shit. Take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we wanted to tell you, Fred and Darlon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He was like, I ain't tell you niggas to walk back.
Now, the question on everybody's mind with all this coming out is why Rihanna is just now putting all this tea out there about Beyoncé after all these years. Well, I'm not about to sit here and act like I know the real reason because I don't. So I'm just gonna tell y'all what the streets are saying could be behind it. And girl, it's messy, so buckle up. Now, if you remember, Rihanna got pulled into Jay-Z and Beyoncé's world back in 2005 after this producer, Evan Rogers, found her while he was vacationing in Barbados. Apparently, she had her own little girl group she put together with her classmates. So from the looks of it, music was something she was already going after. Evan had her record a few demos, got her paperwork together, and flew her out to the US to audition for different labels. And one of those labels just so happened to be Def Jam. Now at the time, Jay-Z was the president of Def Jam, and baby, when he heard those demos, he was impressed, especially with Pon de Replay. So he called Rihanna in for an audition in New York. And from there, everything moved real fast. But here's where people start side-eyeing the whole thing. According to Rihanna, that audition happened in Jay's office at 3 a.m. Like, 3 in the morning for a teenage girl in an office with barely anybody around? Anyway, after she performed, Jay allegedly made it very clear she was not leaving without signing that deal. Rihanna has even said that he basically gave her 2 choices that night: either sign the contract or get pushed out the window.
Tell me about your audition with Jay-Z. Tell me about a really good audition. And what did he say to you? He said something to you. Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief. But then he said something about a window and a door or something. Oh, then he said, he said it whole word. I did a lot of homework on you this lady. He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal sign or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
And honestly, I don't even know why everybody was sitting there laughing at that story like it was some cute little industry joke, because nothing about it sounded funny at all. Now, once Rihanna finally dropped Pon de Replay in 2005 as her first official single, things got even messier. Her own publicist ended up spilling some tea and accused Jay-Z of forcing Rihanna into some kind of affair with him. Of course, the publicist later tried to take it all back and claimed he made the whole thing up just to promote Pon de Replay, but people were not buying that excuse back then, and they're definitely not buying it now.
How long are you guys gonna hold on to Chris Brown and beating Rihanna? You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand why people keep talking about that. It was forever ago. They were both very young, and he had just had his first herpes outbreak from her giving him the herpes.
Ooh, my.
Like, how the did you know what I mean? Like people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started with her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from the celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was f***ing Jay-Z. Jay-Z gave her the herpes that she gave to Chris Brown. That's what the f happened that night, and I know because I was at the party. It was the last Clive Davis kissed the pinky ring party I ever went to.
But with all this tea Rihanna allegedly putting out there on Beyoncé now, folks think she feels like Beyoncé could have saved her back then, but she sat there and did nothing. And now, as some kind of revenge, she's supposedly leaking details about Beyoncé being tied to all these strange deaths of the young rappers she's been rumored to be involved with. As I said, this is all alleged tea, so take it with a grain of salt. But honey, that ain't stopping people from going in on Beyoncé. One person said, Beyoncé is really good at playing innocent, but if you have strong discernment, you will notice that her lifestyle doesn't match the innocent act. Another person said, according to the Beehive, she is an infallible human who can do no wrong, and anyone who has an opinion about her, and anyone who objects, is a jealous hater or is broke. Well, Beehive, what do you all have to say? Now it's mighty quiet in here. I see no hive in here. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Beyoncé getting exposed for her supposed involvement in all these things? And do you really think these young rappers didn't make it because they got involved with her? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.